been so hard to hit the road. But this time I don't feel like it. This time I would stay home. Morning sun is coming slowly, glistening on my frozen bones. Where I really wanna be is where the night comes. Where the night meets the dawn. It's never been so hard. Pack my things and go. This time I stay with you, my boy. This time I'll stay home. The morning sun is rising slowly. It's never been so hard to hit the road. But this time I don't feel like it. This time I would stay home. The morning sun is coming slowly, glistening on the frozen ponds. Where I really wanna be is where the night meets.